Hello everyone, Bible believers around the world. So this is just a quick video I wanted to make because YouTube has a policy that if you don't hand over a lot of information like your phone number, they limit you to making videos that are 15 minutes and under. And for that reason, I ran out of time in Unmasking the Edomites episode 13 to cover this particular question that I received years ago in its entirety. I had to, speed it up and not go as deep as I originally wanted to. So this is kind of like, those kids' DVDs, the bonus features. So this is bonus features in between episode 13 and episode 14. Now, years ago, I actually received a question from a person who follows the One West Camp doctrine that Esau is Caucasian. Now, usually the type of questions, we get are, they're not really questions. They're like slurs, cuss words, or they'll be like, Obadiah. They'll be like that. But this was actually an intelligent question from somebody who follows this particular One West Camp doctrine. I was saying, the white man is not Esau. That's a false doctrine. White people are the seed of Japheth and all that type of stuff. And what she asked me was, why would Japheth do to us what the white man has done in history? I don't see why Japheth would do that. Because, the One West camps teach, about Esau's hatred and all that type of stuff. And falsely, the One West camps teach that, like, Japheth was the friend of the Israelites and never did nothing wrong. Now, obviously, there's a lot of good Japheth out there. Law keepers, good people, a lot of them. But the idea that Japheth never did the Israelites wrong is a lie. And it might surprise you that Japheth's issue with the Israelites actually goes way farther back than Jacob himself. It goes farther back than Isaac and Abraham. What am I talking about? Well, recently I actually saw a video by a brother, and in Jubilees, the book of Jubilees, when Noah was dividing earth between his three sons, it is said in the book of Jubilees that Japheth envied the possessions of the children of Shem. So going all the way back to Shem, Ham, and Japheth, Japheth already envied Shem and what Shem had, all right? And you look at history and, the prophecy of, Yah shall enlarge Japheth, he shall dwell in tents of Shem. When you look at British Empire and the colonialists and all this type of stuff, you realize that the vast majority of the land that they have taken has been Shemitic land. Yeah, they've taken some Hamitic land, but it don't compare to much of the Shemitic land. Like literally, and Sons and Daughters of the Covenant of Yah actually had a source that they shared with me, an old book, where the author literally, confirms that he doesn't know of any single country that originally belonged to the descendants of Shem that doesn't now have Japheth in it, aka white people. So Japheth's envy of the descendants of Shem, which is who Israel comes from, goes all the way back to Jubilees. Now, we also see it in the book of Maccabees, where the people who came in and sacked Jerusalem and polluted the temple, put pork on the altar, brought in pagan gods, and burned down our buildings, that was Japheth. That wasn't Esau. That was Japheth. He did that. And then the Dead Sea Scrolls, and then you read the Dead Sea Scrolls, and the Dead Sea Scrolls talks about Kittim and the children of Japheth looking to blot out the children of Israel, not Esau. So the idea that Japheth, hasn't done nothing wrong and that he's not having issues with Israel is false, because they do that to try and say, the white man is Esau. The white man is not Esau, he is Japheth. And you look through history, and Japheth has been trying to blot out Israel just like the black Psalms 83 nations. People don't understand, like, Esau is not the Caucasian. Esau is what you would say the sellout black man who's helped Japheth do what he's done. And then the other source, the ladder of Jacob. Esau was not the one oppressing Israel in the land of our captivity. They weren't the one with the bullwhip. They were the one benefiting from us being whipped. All right? So, and you see that in the book of Obadiah. Esau was profiting from what the Romans were doing to us. He was benefiting. As the Romans were beating us up, he was sneaking by and taking our money. Romans were smacking us upside the head, and he was taking our money while we were pinned down. Black Esau were doing that. Hebrew Edomites.